I'd like to introduce you to the core foundation of Marketplace Domination Secrets program. This is priceless. It's called the Marketing Equation. The reason it's foundational is it combines behavioral psychology and logic. And from a personal standpoint, I experienced it when I was first introduced to Y2 marketing. It was amazing. So there's no question in my mind about the value of this information. The business owner or marketing person who wraps their head around this training and becomes a convert of the marketing equation will reap big dividends and overcome most of the confusion when it comes to marketing. That's why we say it's critical to take advantage of this training and hope and pray your competitors don't. So let's dig in. Okay, let's walk you through what the marketing equation is and why it's so critical to your marketing efforts from this day forward. It's the very foundation of marketing. It's based on proven science and psychology. It never changes. When you master it, as we like to say, become a convert, you'll never be confused or misinformed about what marketing is supposed to do. If the only thing you ever learn about marketing is the marketing equation, you'll be head and shoulders above everyone else. Hopefully this will help you break through all the complexity and confusion in the arena of marketing, especially today. We talk about the marketing equation in many of our videos, but this is where we dig a little deeper. Setting your foundation correctly will save you a ton of time and maximize the results of your marketing. Think of it as true north. The marketing equation is based on true principles. It can be systematized and used for any kind of company in any kind of industry. It's a one-trick pony. Works just like arithmetic. As long as you understand the principles, you can still complete the equation. We know, for example, 4 times 3 equals 12. We know that 4 plus 3 is 7. We know that 4 minus 3 is 1. We also know that 4 times 2 is 8. You'll never get the wrong answer as long as you understand the principles. If some of the factors change, you don't have to freak out and wonder what to do. Just run the equation again. I want you to think of your marketing more like science than art, which is good news. The marketing equation matches the way we're all wired. It's based on psychology. So how does it apply to your prospects? We always refer to them as John Smith. This is how his brain works. There are 3 quick concepts you need to know. Our Psychology of Marketing video goes even deeper. Hey, we really want you to anchor this information in your brain. Why? Because it's missing in 99% of marketing today. The first concept is alpha mode. Simply put, this is the hypnotic state of running automatic patterns that allows your brain to habitually perform tasks without any conscious thought. You do this all the time. Your brain is basically on autopilot or power save. Everyday routines and habits stem from alpha mode. A person is not consciously aware of what they're doing or thinking. Most of our lives run in alpha mode. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Have you ever driven to work before, and when you got there, you realized you hadn't consciously seen anything along the way? That's happened to all of us. That's called alpha mode. In marketing terms, this means people see and hear ads, but they don't consciously notice them. Everyone experiences this on a daily basis. The second concept is beta mode. This is the brain's active state of mental engagement. A person is consciously aware of what he or she is doing. It's like when you drive to work, except this time in a heavy thunderstorm. Your hands are firmly gripped at the 10 and 2 o'clock position, and your pupils are as big as dimes. In marketing terms, this is when a person consciously notices ads and is open to suggestions. They're in an active state of problem solving and learning or hunting for solutions. In beta mode, a person actively seeks out information on products or services and is open to ideas and suggestions about how to solve a problem. That person will read or absorb as much information as necessary to make the best decision. The third concept, and a critical one, is the reticular activator. This is the part of your brain that's on lookout 24/7, subconsciously scanning the environment for anything that's familiar, unusual, or problematic. It's commonly referred to as the attention center of the brain. It is the key to turning on your brain, and it seems to be the center of motivation. That part of your brain where the world outside of you and your thoughts and feelings from inside of you meet or intersect. Now, an activator, this is important. It's anything that snaps a person from alpha mode to beta mode. In other words, breaks the pattern. So marketing's first job then is to get the prospect to snap out of alpha and into beta. This is done by finding out what problems, frustrations, or annoyances your prospects have, and then talking about them in your marketing instead of speaking in general platitudes about things you do or talking about how great you are. These are your prospects' hot buttons because they're familiar and or problematic. They will register in the reticular activator section of the brain of your prospects and get them to snap from alpha to beta mode. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Once the prospect is snapped into beta mode, you got their attention, but you're not done. Marketing's second job is now get the prospect to do something, to take the next action in the buying process. I mean, come on, who gets married after the introduction? You gotta start dating or the get to know process, right? The next time you're looking to make a purchase, consciously think about what you're experiencing during the process. It will really help you better understand what we're talking about here. The marketing equation has 4 stages or components. Number 1 is attention. This is getting the prospect to pay attention like we just discussed. This is accomplished by turning those hot buttons that already exist in the prospect's brain into headlines that their reticular activator can find and snap them from alpha into beta. Now, in the past, most ad agencies and marketing companies do a really good job of this. This is very basic, and everyone in the industry knows this. However, what they don't realize is when you use sex appeal, images out of the ordinary, a play on words, or using cute little animals like a gecko, you're not hitting the right emotional triggers or creating the proper credible gut feeling. It actually has a negative effect and is instantly dismissed. The desired interrupt is lost, and the reticular activator tells the mind, "Oops, false beta, go back to doing whatever it was doing before you saw or heard this ad." And everyone has experienced this. This is why companies and ad agencies have to always come up with new campaigns, particularly in mass media like radio and TV, because we as a whole get so used to seeing all these false betas. These ads get to the point that they no longer interrupt anymore because our reticular activator has ignored that ad. We've switched back to autopilot as soon as we see even a fraction of it, and we instantly dismiss it. Here is an example of a hot button specific headline. In the construction world, one of the biggest consumer complaints is that the problems don't get installed, fixed, or repaired right the first time. Our headline identifies that problem. Our subheadline carries that idea. Here, check this out. Our screening process for hiring new technicians is so stringent that over 82% of our applicants fail the first stage. An additional 16% just drop out. The result is 98.3% of our jobs we send our techs on get done right the first time. Is that believable? Is it impressive? Does it make you think, maybe this is a company I should think about hiring? Of course it does. Number 2 is interest. Once the prospect is interrupted, it's critical to get them engaged or interested. This is done by using subheadlines and topic images that gives the reader the promise that information is forthcoming that will solve the problem or soothe the emotion that they were interrupted with. It needs to carry the same idea portrayed in the headline and lead into the selling points of the ad. All too often, the ads we've seen have no subheadline or no direct relation between the headlines and the context of the ad. The lack of subheadline or any function that executes the engage or interest phase of the advertisement is immediately losing potential viewership. Have you given the reader the promise that if he continues to read the marketing piece, that he will get information that will facilitate his making the best decision, solving his problem? Have you made the reader want to listen? Now, that's not to say that it's critical to have a subheadline to create an interest. It's not. The interest can also be taken care of in the headline itself. Here's an example in the retrofit market to homeowners. Ask any spray foam insulation contractor these 17 questions and instantly know in less than 5 minutes if they are properly skilled to correctly diagnose your situation and fix the problem right the first time. That headline gets your attention and interest, doesn't it? Understand, creating interest is the key issue here, not having just any old sub-headline. Number 3, desire. Human nature dictates that people always want to make the best decisions possible. They want to feel like they're in control. Once you've captured their attention and interest, you have to give them information that allows them to logically understand how and why you solved that problem for them in the midst of the sea of competition. You have engaged the prospect on an emotional level. Now it's time to give information that appeals to their logic. Give the prospect information that will prove the claims you've made while interrupting and engaging them. Build your case. Give the prospect all the info he needs to feel in control of the decision. Give them the confidence to move forward in the buying process. Their problem, also known as their emotional hot buttons, is the itch. The control information, what your company does to solve it, is the scratch. Let's use the spray foam insulation contractor analogy again and pretend that you are the contractor. If you provide in your ad a list of 17 specific questions your prospects needed to ask, then delineated how these questions should be answered to ensure that the contractor your prospect was contacting could provide them with the utmost in quality service, and under any circumstances, which of course they couldn't, because you're the best, right? What do you think would happen? Your prospect would now feel like the person in control of the buying situation. They now have the confidence to make a well-qualified decision as to who to do business with. Guess what those results translate to? Worst case scenario, it's a powerful response to your ad asking for at least more information about who you are and what you do. Plus, you'll have the ability to gather their contact information. That is, if you understand the next step. The fourth and final component of the marketing equation is called action. Now the prospect's interrupted, you have their attention based on the problems that are important to him or her. They have been engaged, and you have captured their interest by the promise of a solution, one that seems real and believable. The last step for you is to give the prospect a low-risk way to take the next step in the sales process. Every marketing piece should contain a risk-lowering offer to encourage the prospect to take the next step in the sales or discovery process. It's either an ask now offer or an act now offer. Understand, this is a step that is often missed. Giving your prospect a low-risk way of tasting what it is that you sell is of great importance. One additional point must be made here. If you don't ask people to take immediate action, chances are they won't. An offer should be obvious and easy to understand. An easy-to-see offer can be for more info via marketing tools to further educate and not to talk to a salesperson offer. They are in the process of selling themselves. Actually, you're teaching them how to be a good customer. The right offers allows you to not only capture the now buyers, but also the future buyers, so when they're ready to buy, they buy from you. This allows you to control your target market. In this step, there are 2 rules when making offers. 1, if you sell a service, give away a product. 2, if you sell a product, give away a service. For example, if you sell a service, you could give away a free product like a marketing tool like we do with this video providing educational information from our Marketplace Domination Secrets program, or a webinar, or something to give even more educational comparison information to allow the prospect to feel in control of the final decision and ultimately reinforce that gut feeling of credibility. At this point, we hope you're gaining clarity when it comes to the foundational principles of marketing, part of the process of becoming a 4th quadrant business owner, a convert of the marketing equation. Of all the things you need to get your head around today, becoming a convert of the marketing equation will be a big relief and pay big dividends. From our perspective, not knowing the marketing equation is like trying to do math without knowing how to add or subtract. Now that you have the basic understanding of the marketing equation, you can evaluate and start rethinking your marketing. At least use it as a guide or a template. If you're going to hire someone to do your marketing for you, ask them if they can explain the marketing equation. You wouldn't hire a math teacher if they didn't know how to add or subtract. By understanding the marketing equation, you'll know you're going in the right direction and avoiding lots of trial and error. Implementing it is the work. As an encouragement, it only takes one time to do the work, a one-time investment that will pay for itself many times over. The good news is there's a step-by-step process to achieve that.